lot of people don't understand. Well, he already did it on the cross. We don't have to do that anymore. You know, but it's important, like she was saying, for us to know so that we can explain that to them.
Yeah.
God didn't change, he's still the same God.
That's why we come together, so we can understand, because we come together here, get built up, encouraged, refreshed, and then we go out there. And it's scary out there. Okay. Evil. Matthew 15, 19, Mark 7:21 says, the first thing when he mentions what comes out of a man's heart is evil thoughts, right? Okay. What is evil? What is evil? Well, okay, here, what is sin?
Transgression of God's law.
Okay, good, we agree on that one. Sin is transgression of God's law, period. No discussion. That's it. It's over. Okay, what is evil?
Intentional transgression of the law.
Okay, true.
It's using something that was designed for one purpose for another purpose.
Yes.
Knowing the law and doing the opposite.
Excellent.
You want the,
Nope.
What she said.
no, okay.
She said knowing the law, but doing the opposite is evil. Yeah, rebellion. What else? If you went up to the average everyday Joe who goes to church on Sunday and that's about all they do, which how many of us used to do that? I did. I was there. And you ask what evil is, what are you probably going to hear?
Murder, rape,
Bingo.
incest.
You're going to hear all the things that are called evil. What does God call evil? And you guys have already touched on some of them. Because it's really, really clear or important for us to have that clarity to know scripturally what evil is, because God defines it many, 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 many places. And I'll give you a few of them.
But what amazes me when, when I used to read the Bible, and read about the kings, and the Bible would say, this king did evil in God's sight, I was like, oh, that king was a murderer, he was an adulterer, and he was this and he was that. Well, when I actually started reading it, maybe really the only thing he did was he quit doing what God told him to do and started worshiping in his own way and putting himself the way we as Christians live.
Do it my way.
My way, and so I all of a sudden I had a new what in the sight of God evil was. It was not what I had thought evil was.
Exactly. And a lot of people think...
Like, those kings that were so evil looked like what our neighbors and people we looked like.
That we call, hey, he's a good guy.
He's a good
Oh,
guy.
he's a really nice guy. Look at him. Boy, he's a super good. Look at all the good that he does.
Yeah.
Solomon built the temple. Solomon did evil in the eyes of the Lord.
Yeah.
Saul was really well respected by a lot.
Exactly, yeah, Saul. Okay, so what people around us may think evil is murder, rape, adultery, theft, all these different things, which those are bad. They are bad. But God sees things a little deeper, a little more inside. All right, what I want to do is give you some verses, and I'm going to throw them out there, and if someone would, they're just single verses or 3 or 4, if someone would just grab them and read them, because we're going to get a little bit of definition of what evil is. Exodus 32, 22. And you can try and follow along with it, or you can just listen as they go, or you can grab one and have at it. Exodus 32, 22.
Do not be angry, my master, Aaron answered. You know how prone these people are to evil.
What people? The Israelites. What? God's people? Evil? Uh-huh. By definition of evil. Judges 2:11. I'll put some more of them up here. You guys can, a couple people can get ahead and have a couple of these ready. And this is just a small sampling.
The children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord and served Balaam.
And by the way, I'm glad you mentioned Judges. It's like, 6, 8, 10 times, something like that. The people or the king or whatever did evil in the eyes of the Lord and served other gods, is most common what it is. 1 Kings 11, verse 6.
So Solomon did evil in the eyes of Yahweh. He did not follow Yahweh completely as David his father had done.
And that is a huge, huge definition of evil. Didn't follow Yahweh completely. He did some. He didn't do all. Yes, Gail?
And for an example, David was a murderer, an adulterer.
Exactly.
And all those things, but he still did, God's eyes were, you know, some of these
but
others
he
might
wasn't
not have
evil.
even done that, but they were evil.
But they were evil, exactly. Yeah. Excellent parallel, or comparison. Excellent. Yeah, David was a man after God's own heart.
He's a
Murderer, adulterer, conspirator. Yes.
Well, the evil then, I would say, is people that broke the law and did not repent.
That, and as we just defined, went after other gods. Didn't follow him completely. I mean, it's a lot of levels, and that's definitely one of them. Idols. What's an idol?
Anything besides God.
Could that be an idol? Leviticus chapter 11? Just saying. Okay. Where are we? Psalm 34, verses 11 through 14.
Come ye children, hearken unto me, I will teach you the fear of the Lord. What man is he that desireth life and loveth many days, that he may see good? Keep thy tongue from evil, and thy lips from speaking guile. Depart from evil and do good. Speak peace and pursue it.
So, thoughts and tongue, evil. Proverbs 4:27. Someone has that.
Right hand, nor their left, remove not that foot from evil.
So don't go to the right or the left. Stay away from evil. So evil's going right or left, right?
I want to share, because we've been talking about the clean and the unclean and the evil and what we think is evil. And our son actually just went through this week, and like where he works, they're supporting this new dish they have, which is steak and shrimp. And they all had to wear these green shirts, which they normally wear red, but they had to all wear green shirts with this. And he said it was a cool shirt and all, but on the back it had this steak and shrimp pierced with a sword or something. And he tried to tell his manager, I cannot wear that. I cannot wear that shirt. I don't believe in eating that food. And they just gave him the hardest time about it. And they were like, really? You're not going to wear this shirt? And he finally, the word religion came out, and they were like, oh, you know, and they stopped. But he goes, well, it's like if I supported, it's like if y'all wanted me to wear a shirt that said abortion, I'll support abortion. I wouldn't wear that. And they go, Dad, it's not the same thing. I mean, they totally didn't get it.
They say it's not the same thing.
I mean, if he could have known how to explain it to his co-workers in a way, it would have saved him a lot of grief.
A lot of time. Yeah. And that is so key that like you're bringing up abortion. Well, that's not the same thing. A guy at work this week, he's railing about the homosexual agenda up in Washington, and in the Supreme Court, he said, it's just an abomination, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, they can't do it, and he's just going nuts. I mean, I'm just getting wound up, and I said, kind of like eating pigs, huh? Same thing. He said, well, yeah, you're kind of right.
He did? That's a great start.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've talked a lot to him,
Yeah,
so.
okay.
Anyway, okay. We're at 427. How about 1711? Thank you, Angela, for sharing that. That's excellent.
What did he do?
What did he do? He didn't have to wear the shirt.
No, and this is funny because he wore the normal red shirt. He went and bought a green shirt, but it wasn't the same color green, so it was off. So he just wore the red shirt, and they let him. But one of his friends that he had seen, he came up there to eat, he goes, oh, are you a manager?
Because what had he done? People listen.
He set himself apart.
What had he done? He set himself apart. What an example that is.
Right.
Love that kid. He distinguished himself apart from everybody else.
Well, I can tell you though, he was spiritually attacked the next day.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, not from the people he works with, but he landed when he hit that parking lot, he had bought a green shirt. He locked his keys in his truck. He couldn't think. He dumped trash. I think he hadn't had this kind of a day ever, I don't think, there. And it was just like, I believe he was just spiritually attacked, but he got through it. He got
Amen.
through it.
Amen. Awesome. All right, Proverbs 17:11.
An evil man seeketh only rebellion, therefore a cruel message shall be sent against him.
That doesn't sound very good. Cruel message. But the evil man is bent on what?
Rebellion.
We've talked about that so far today. Okay, Isaiah 5:20, just a couple of more, and then we'll wrap it up.
Woe to those who speak of evil as good and of good as evil, who make darkness into light and light into darkness, that they make bitter into sweet and sweet into bitter.
Mm-hmm. Woe to those who call evil good. And what does God call good?
Word.
Word. Deuteronomy 12, obey these regulations because they're good.
Yeah,
All right.
because none is good.
Because none, there is not one. Yeah. All right. Last one, Isaiah 32, verse 6. And this one is really, really key. Ties everything up for today, I believe, anyway. Just me. Isaiah 32, verse 6. Maybe I should read that one, huh? Since I'm standing up here with the microphone and the marker. Isaiah 32, verse 6, if I can get there. All right. I'm actually going to start in verse 1. Isaiah 32. See, a king will reign in righteousness, and rulers will rule with justice. Each man will be like a shelter from the wind and a refuge from the storm, like streams of water in the desert, and the shadow of a great rock in a thirsty land. Then the eyes of those who see will no longer be closed, and the ears of those who hear will listen. The mind of the rash will know and understand, and the stammering tongue will be fluent and clear. No longer will the fool be called noble, nor the scoundrel be highly respected. And then here's verse 6. For the fool speaks folly. His mind is busy with evil. He practices ungodliness and spreads error concerning Yahweh. The hungry he leaves empty, and from the thirsty he withholds water. What did Yeshua say in John chapter 6? He who comes to me will never be hungry. Drink the water, never be thirsty. So evil spreads error concerning Yahweh. You can do whatever you want. He loves you. He covers you. You just go, have a good time. If it feels good, do it. Because he wants you to be happy.
It's all about you.
It's all about you. And on that note, I want to give you one other piece of advice from a wise sage up in Missouri. A new teaching, because it kind of goes with all this stuff. And it goes with, don't take what we have for granted. There is no such thing, none, no such thing as a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. There is no such thing as a personal relationship with Yeshua.
There's no such thing.
There is no such thing outside of the context of this body. You cannot be a part of the body and be by yourself and be separate. You will not have that personal relationship. It's not what it's about. It's about this, my personal relationship to him in fulfilling my role within this body. Not being out by myself, doing my own thing, because that's what I think. We have a purpose, each one of us within this body. If we read this word, if we spend time together, I believe we'll discover that purpose within this body. That's all I got. Father, thank you again for letting us come together. Thank you for the way you work in our lives. And Father, may we truly seek to bring you honor. May the thoughts that come from our minds and our hearts be good, be pure, be clean, be glorifying and edifying to you. May we may you grant us the understanding of our purpose and our role within this body and along with the others who will be brought to this body, especially as these days get closer and closer to your return, especially in light of the darkness that is in this world. May we be like Justin, who set himself apart this week. And yet, even though he had struggles, he was attacked, he got through it because you strengthened him. And we trust that you did that, and we know you did, and we thank you for it. May you work within each one of us like that, Father, that we will stand up for what we believe, that we will stand up for your word, which is truth, which is right, which is good. Yahweh, we love you. We praise you, we honor you, and we thank you that you love us. We thank you that you sent your Son, who was seated with you at your right hand. You sent him here amongst us unclean, ignorant, disobedient, rebellious people, so that he could teach us, so that he could show us, so that we could gain a little bit more understanding of you, a little bit more understanding of how to live a life that pleases you, and to understand that that is our goal. That should be our goal, to please you, to bring you honor. It's all about you, Father. May we each fall down in worship, in humility, and realize you are God. We're not. You set out how to live. You have set out how to treat each other. You have set out how to honor you. Help us to do that, Father. Give us that guidance. Give us that direction. Give us that understanding. May we be committed to you. Thank you for allowing us to come into your presence in prayer. Thank you for Yeshua that allows that to happen. In his name, amen.